Okay, so I decided to come out and sort of do a little bit of, I guess, fall decorating. So I'm not really big on changing everything over when everything still looks good. And it's funny that I say that because I was going to leave these and I talked about the other day how much I liked this. And today they're covered in white fly. So I just had to spray them. I'm hoping they're going to bounce back, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So what I'm going to do to make this look a little bit more fall, just to give it a little oomph, is add some stems of, this is quickfire hydrangea, and I just cut them. So I'm going to strip all the leaves off, and then I'm going to treat them like I would if I was going to put them into a flower arrangement. So I'll split the stem, and then they're going to go right into these little florist vials that have they're already pre-filled with water, and they have a little rubber stopper on the top, and so the hydrangea can just go right in there and have its own little water source. And I'm going to get it in there all the way down. So now I might have to come back and fill these as the time goes on, or they might dry. We'll see what happens. And then I'm just going to stick them into the window box to give a little bit of that color in the back. And then after I'm done doing that, I'm going to come back and put these little pumpkin stakes that I have that look like my white pumpkin over there. And I'm going to put these in and hope that makes me feel like I'm sort of keeping up with fall. Everybody's doing fall. Every time you drive by, people have their mums and their fall decorations, and I'm just not ready. So I'm going to see if this helps me feel a little bit more like the getting into the season. Okay, did that. Makes me feel good. A tiny little touch of a different color in the back makes it feel a little bit different. Got my little pumpkins in there. We'll see what happens to this annual in the front. Could it still add more, but we'll see. Hi, Franklin. Hi, Georgia. I like everything to be as simple as simple as simple. I'm not big into, and plus this is a really tiny porch. This is basically an Amazon delivery spot. So I don't want to put too much here, but that's done for now. And now we're going to go move a planter out front. All right, so we have these two tall tom pots, one here, one further down, and I'm going to move them both, and I might leave the ice plant in there. We'll see what happens when I get over there and start messing around with it when it's in front of the garage. So that's the next plan, to get these moved. All right, we have arrived. We have to move the second one, but I just got some switchgrass, an unopened mum, and a kale, and we're gonna see what fits in there. But I am gonna say I'm not big into these little mums because they're annuals. You can't plant them in the ground now and have them survive. But if you are gonna buy them for your containers, buy them like this. Just look at the label to see the color. So don't ever buy them open, because you want to get as long as you can out of them, and they're gonna open pretty quickly. But if you buy them open, you're gonna get a really, really short time out of them. So buy them in closed bud. Just look at the tag and I'll show you. Let's see. These are white. I bought all, let me put it up here so that camera will focus. I bought all white. All right, second pot in place. in between here. So now I'm just going to plant it up with the same 3 things. Then I'm going to take out this pot right here, this little basket, for the whole summer until very recently grew lettuce that we would use when we were grilling. And I did put some more lettuce seeds in there. They haven't germinated yet, but I am going to take out all the old lettuce and move this out of the way. And I have another container down here that I'm going to put a mum, and I'm going to add something else to it. I just don't know what yet. And then I bought this Fire Chief herb, which I had several of these. Let's see if I can get in on the label there. Planted, and the rabbits ate them in the ground. So I'm going to try and grow it because it has beautiful fall color. So I'm going to try and grow it in that blue container right there. I'm going to take out those annuals and put that in there, and maybe another mum. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell you that this is one of my very, very, very least favorite garden chores. I do not like having to replace containers for fall. Give me holiday plantings. I love that. I love doing them in the springtime. Just doing them for this short period of time in the fall is just one of my least favorite things. I just don't get a whole heck of a lot of enjoyment out of this season like other people do. I don't know why. That was ice plant. That was this ice plant. Kaleidoscope Pink Radiance. And it's actually done very, very well in these containers. And I'm going to move it into the garden over there that I was working in this morning. I'll walk over there and show you where I planted the other one. But I'm not even going to worry about like refreshing this soil all that much because these plants are so shallow rooted, and they were definitely very shallowly rooted. And this was all brand new potting soil. And these plants that I'm putting in have quite a bit of soil in them. And this is, that's a heuchera I was looking for the tag for before. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I'm hoping that this switchgrass lives. It's not an annual grass. I was going to go with a purple annual grass, and I actually like this one. It's going to be in way too much shade for right now, but that's okay. It gets some sun up here. I knew we were going to have potting soil issues in here. Let me get this bin. Well, and I can also, during the daytime, move this container a little bit more toward the sunny side of this porch and give it a little moment of sun over there. And then it won't feel so sad back here. These things are always so pot bound. That's okay. They never really have time to do anything in these containers anyway, as far as filling out or anything, because it's just such a short period of time, which might be why I dislike doing this. So it's really just so few weeks that I'm interested in having these plants in here. So it just kind of seems like a colossal waste of time, but I like this area to look really nice. We spend so much time out in this part of the garden. We're right up near where our pool area is, and so I like it to always look as good as it can. All right, so that's that. Now, oops, I made the ginormous mess. Okay, good. That looks great. Now I'm gonna switch over here and take care of this little area. So this this container is going to get relocated while the lettuce is figuring itself out. Maybe we'll get more lettuce, maybe we won't. I don't know. That's just all trash. That little pot is going to, this one's going over in the pool area. This one's coming into the house, so it's not even going to be outside here. And now I just have to plant into that little container And I have some other potting soil here that I can use for that. And then I have to decide what's going to go on the side of it. Let me go get some sedum. Right, one of the advantages of growing so many sedums in my yard is that there are so many that are just in random places that I can just pop out or divide. This one, well, I'm going to flip this basket around. I'll plant it this way and then I'll turn it around. This one was just growing over in the side garden. So, you know, by its lonesome. All right. And this is a little ground cover one that was growing over by my birch tree. I just need to get a little bit more dirt underneath there. All right. Now I just need to clean this whole area up. And it's been I'm going to pull some of that sedum forward, I guess. Good. Okay, so now we've got another planter done here, and now I got to go do the one in the pool area and bring this ice plant over to the side garden. All right, the last thing we're gonna attack is this plant right here, this pot right here. Get everything out of the way. They're bug zappers. Put all of our solar lights out here to see which ones were working. All right, so this, oops, let's not do that. All right, so this annuals all in the back here are gonna come out. And I know it's gonna make a mess, but I am just DONE with these. I don't even know why. Like I'm just entirely sick of looking at them. Usually I don't get that irritated, I guess, with my container plantings, and I'm kind of think, oh, you know, they can carry on for a little bit or whatever. But this one in particular was because we had a secondary petunia seed itself in here, which kind of seemed cool when it happened, but then I didn't like it. All right, because my shirt keeps falling down, we don't need the whole world to see that. I'm going to plant these up and then come back when it's done. All right, so this container is now done. So this sedum in the front is October Daphne, and I've talked about it before, and it's about to, after it finishes flowering, it's going to turn like an orangey color in the fall. The mum is white, and then this Fire Chief Arborvitae is going to have some fall color on it too. It bronzes up as it gets colder. And when the mum comes out, I usually add either evergreen or colored dogwood twigs to this. This is one of the few containers that stays out during the winter that I add things to. So I will do that when it gets more toward holiday, when we do this area for the holidays, because we're always out here right through the end of the year, right through Christmas time, because we have a couple fire pits out here, and the structure that's right here has it a heater in there, like a infrared heater in the ceiling, and a propane fire table in there. So we're usually out here pretty late. So anyway, that container is all set, looks better. I don't have to look at those pink petunias anymore that I didn't like. Do you like my solar light assembly right here? So we're just, these are just rescued from all over different places in the yard. We're replacing them. And any of these that work, we're going to put in places that aren't really important, that we might need a little bit of light, but we're probably just going to pitch most of them. But anyway, it's just funny to look at. All right, and then we'll go up here and see this container again. That mum is going to bloom white. So we just got a little refresh of everything. So now it feels less tired over here. I actually got all my houseplants in the other day. I did redo that container right there that Georgia's right next to with some asters in it. I got all my houseplants in, and the only thing I have left to bring in is that coleus right there. I took a bunch of cuttings from it, and they're rooting right now, but I'm going to leave this out. Our weather looks amazing for the next at least 10 days. No nights that are really, really cold. So I'm going to let it stay outside for as long as it can. So we might as well just take a walk down and I'll show you where I put that ice plant. I was working out in this garden this morning. There's so much soil building that's going on this year. So I emptied out the compost. So many areas, like that whole area back there, got dug up and all the compost replaced. Same on the other side. I had, when I did a video the other day, before we get into the ice plant, I had showed that I cut back in here. And after I did a cut back, we also put, that's a transplant in that awkward looking bucket right there. A thalictrum that I wanted to make sure didn't get eaten by the rabbits. Some hosta transplants. It looks so bad right now with all these things at various stages of death. But anyway, I put all new compost underneath this chemisiporus. I dug out the whole bottom of it. I don't know if you can see. I replaced all the dirt in there. So I was really, really busy out here today doing, like, this kind of work is important for a garden that's been around for a long time, to have the soil refreshed and, you know, the plants sometimes lifted and moved, but it's grunt work and it's boring and it's not fun to show people. But anyway, I just showed you and maybe you appreciate it. So that area I'll compost it in there as well. But this area, and this raised rock area right here, is where I put all that ice plant I just took out of those containers. Again, trying to put things in containers that I can recycle back into the ground instead of just buying constantly all new annual plants, because, you know, it's costs a lot of money year after year to keep doing that unless you're growing them from seed. But I don't have a current setup. I used to have grow lights and stuff, but I just don't anymore. So there's the other one and some other divisions to the side. So now I got to come back and water. I think I put in maybe 4 or 5 divisions in here. Those are the 2 big chunks. And then I put some littler chunks in and around here. So I'm going to come back and water these. And then I have to strip this. Morning Glory has seen its heyday come and go. So it's time to get all those vines off there and free up the clematis that's living underneath there, and let it get some good sunlight before there isn't any sunlight left to be had. So anyway, that's what I did today. Oh, look how brown everything is. I have to cut that back too. But anyway, that's where I put the ice plant, over in this garden over here. And now I got to go finish cleaning up my mess I made, making all the fall changes to some of the containers. Okay, a little bit into the future, you can see the mum is open, and you can see the color that fire chief arborvitae is already getting from cooler nights.
I'm so sad I don't have this plant in my garden anymore, but I think it's going to be great in this pot. And it looks good with the mum. The lobelia is coming back, and of course the sedum looks fantastic as it always does. Well, welcome, David Howard, my new favorite dahlia. So this is a dark leaf dahlia I got from Old Home Gardens as a tuber this year. I've never grown it, and it's called David Howard. And I love the dark leaf dahlias. And this, and I'm going to show you the other two I bought. Uh, Actually, I think I bought six, but um, we had a serious problem with this dahlia in the springtime. I planted them all in the pool area. I love adding orange flowers everywhere for later in the season. And the rabbits just, they were about, this is not that tall. I'll back out so you can see. This is probably only not even 2.5, maybe 3 feet tall right now. Uh, anyway, they ate them when they were about this height already. The rabbits came through one night and ate them down to the ground. And they were eaten so far back, there was nothing left. And I thought for sure none of them were going to be able to rebound. So I moved one here, and I'm going to walk over to where the other ones got planted into what is now something I'm going to repeat every year because it looks so great. So here we are behind our pool equipment. And earlier in the season, I had done a video where I talked about these containers that sit directly next to our pool equipment. And we always had planted, or I always had planted the same thing in here, which was panicum grasses and this canna, this dark leaf canna. Now, I can't tell you the name of the canna because it was a gift from somebody who had too many of the roots. So she gave a whole bunch to me, and they overwinter like a dream. They're so easy. They can stay even if you forget them for a really long time. Uh, I've gone into June where they're still sitting downstairs unwatered in a bag, and they still come back great. I don't love the way they flower. I think it's really messy, but you just got to keep on. Like, you got to come out all the time and take all this off. But I love the color. And so the canna came back okay, but the panicum all got taken out. And when the rabbits ate back this dahlia, this David Howard dahlia, I, in a genius moment, moved them into these containers. So they're just coming into bloom now. Get this little bud out of the way. They're just coming into bloom, which is sad. We could potentially have a light frost, but I'm going to try and protect them with some ramée. And if I do that, I'll take a little video. But anyway, look at that. This combination, oh my goodness. So now I'm really kind of sad that I wasn't looking at this all summer long. But the reason being, they were chomped down to the ground. But the three that survived that initial, so I actually had one in every one of these containers, and there are 5 containers here. So I had 6 of these. I looked on the receipt, but 3 made it through the rabbit chomping. I'm just, like I said, so sad that we're just starting to get flowers on them now because I just love this. And the dahlia is filling out at the bottom of the canna so nice. So it's working really well to camouflage the pool filter. So the one that was in this container right where I'm standing is one of the ones that didn't make it. But next year I will have plenty of tubers to make sure that one gets in there, and we'll have that in on all of these containers. So it looks so good. Don't look at all my pool stuff. We started cleaning everything up. We started putting some stuff up in the attic. we're down to just a few pool days here and there. Our pool is heated, so we can get a little bit more out of the season. But anyway, that's Dahlia David Howard, that dark foliage dahlia in there. Finish off today's video by looking at one more container that has performed spectacularly well this whole gardening season, and that's this one that just has very simple, I think that's an autumn joy sedum in there, and then this annual candy shop candy bouquet calibrachoa. And my goodness, this has been the best performing plant. It has looked like this since I put it in this container. Just constant, constant, constant bloom. No fuss, no issues of any kind. And this went in probably the last week of May. And this is the first week of October. And this still looks this good. And I didn't realize at the time how good it was going to look when the sedum started to get its true fall color. Once it's been pollinated, it turns this really, really dark color. And they look so good together. Total accident. But again, one, I just came in here to actually pull the label of this plant out so I can save it. So if I have a combination that I really, really like and I want to repeat, I'll put the labels in one place so that I can look for this plant again next year and repeat this again. So anyway, that's the end of today's little fall container update.